video circulating online claims to show a strange and frightening incident in the Navy Yard neighborhood. According to the description attached to the footage, a sudden wave of panic spread through the area after reports of a large, unknown creature appearing without warning. Witnesses described it as something unnatural, tall, with pale skin and features that resembled a reptile, including a long tail. Authorities were reportedly called to the scene, and a large police presence quickly surrounded the area. In the video, the creature can be seen climbing up a pole, moving in a way that doesn't look typical for any known animal. Its movements appear controlled and deliberate, which only added to the fear among those watching. It was claimed that officers were instructed not to use force, as there was interest in capturing the creature for further examination. The area was then sealed off, keeping the public at a distance while the situation was handled. However, what happened afterward remains unclear. Once the scene was cleared, there was no confirmed information about whether the creature had been captured or if it had somehow escaped. Because of the lack of official details, many people questioned the authenticity of the video. Some believe it could be edited or staged, while others think it shows something that hasn't been fully explained. With no clear answers and no follow-up reports, the footage continues to raise questions. Was it simply a well-made hoax, or did something unusual briefly appear and then disappear without a trace? A real incident shared across news reports describes a strange and disturbing event that took place on December 25, 2020, in Nashville, Tennessee. Early that morning, a 63-year-old man named Anthony Quinn Warner parked his RV on 2nd Avenue, a busy downtown area. At first, everything seemed quiet, but soon nearby residents were startled by something unusual. A robotic female voice began playing from the vehicle, repeating a warning that everyone in the area needed to leave immediately. The message continued over and over, clearly instructing people to evacuate.
This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
As time passed, the tone of the warning became more urgent. It eventually mentioned that the vehicle would explode, giving a countdown of around 15 minutes. Police officers arrived at the scene and began clearing the streets. Body camera footage later showed them moving through the area, asking anyone nearby to leave for their safety.
So you're not doing anything wrong, okay? You're not in trouble, but there is something serious happening down the road.
Go for 11.
Okay? Do you mind going down to 2nd and
Where do they need to go when they are evacuated?
That's so weird. That's like something out of a movie.
Like the Purge?
Yeah.
Evacuate now. Evacuate now. Stay clear. Stay clear.
The situation felt unsettling, almost unreal, especially with the mechanical voice echoing through empty streets. Adding to the strange atmosphere, the RV also played parts of an old song called Downtown by Petula Clark, a cheerful track about finding comfort in the city. The contrast between the upbeat music and the serious warning created an uneasy feeling. Not long after the final warning, the RV exploded. The blast was powerful enough to damage more than 50 buildings nearby, with some structures partially collapsing. Footage from the aftermath showed a scene that looked chaotic and heavily damaged, with debris scattered across the street.
Commander 425, are you 10-4?
He's in 4.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
No, my guys.
Where's your car?
How you doing?
Okay, go to your car.
What's going on? 217, myself and 215 are all going around. are direct. There may be ammo in that vehicle. We don't need anybody coming up the Second Avenue exposed.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I appreciate it.
Despite the scale of the explosion, most people in the area had already been evacuated. Only 3 individuals were injured, and no one outside the RV lost their life. The man responsible, Anthony Warner, died in the explosion. In the days that followed, investigators looked into his background. They found that he had been living a very isolated life and had strong beliefs in unusual conspiracy theories. Reports also revealed that concerns about him had been raised months earlier, including claims that he had been working with explosives inside the same RV. There were also signs that he wanted to leave a lasting impression, though his exact reason was never fully understood. Authorities later suggested that he may not have intended to harm others and that personal struggles, including serious health issues, may have played a role in his actions. Even today, the incident remains unsettling. The warnings, the music, and the timing all add to the mystery. Was this simply the act of a troubled mind, or something more calculated than it first appears? A case reported from Albuquerque in 2019 tells the story of a situation that quickly turned unsettling for local police. On September 9th, an officer from the Albuquerque Police Department noticed something unusual during a routine patrol. A young man had pulled over a gray Nissan SUV on the side of the road as if he were conducting a traffic stop. At first glance, it looked official, but something didn't feel right. The man wasn't wearing any police uniform. Instead, he was dressed like an ordinary civilian with casual clothes and a cap. Even so, he was acting with confidence, writing down information from the driver as if he had full authority. Sensing something was off, the real officer stepped in and separated him from the driver to question him.
Can I talk to him for a minute? What's going on? Let's just talk back here real quick. Who do you work for?
Early country club.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm under-equipped.
Okay, because normally you do, if we're out here, man, if we're making a traffic stop, we're just gonna have to stop. Alright? Do you have an ID with you?
And this is all I got. I mean, like I said, I'm under-equipped. I was just heading over there to the courthouse
To the courthouse for what?
to get my crap.
Okay.
I know, it makes no sense. I caught him going 120 down I-40.
Okay. Why do you have lights on this vehicle?
Personal? I know.
Do you have an ID with you at all?
No, I keep it on my uniform.
The man appeared nervous and unsure of himself. He claimed he was heading to the courthouse and admitted that he didn't have proper equipment or identification with him. Despite that, he insisted he had been working as a police officer for years and had pulled the driver over for speeding. As the questioning continued, more inconsistencies began to show. He admitted that he was using his personal vehicle to conduct these stops, and he couldn't provide any proof of his identity.
And I'm not here to mess with you, man. It's just the thing is, yeah, he was speeding, dude. You could have called it in, and because if you get into shooting, you're
Right.
speeding. All right, man.
I understand.
All right.
This, for starters, I know this looks really bad.
Right.
This looks really bad. This screams whacker.
Right. How long you been on?
About 3 years.
Okay. I've been on for like 13 years. All right, so.
When the officer checked official records, there was no sign of him being part of any law enforcement agency. At that point, the officer had no choice but to detain him and wait for further instructions. Not long after being placed in the patrol car, the man's behavior changed. The pressure seemed to get to him, and he admitted that he wasn't actually a police officer. He revealed that the badge he had been using wasn't official and had been purchased online.
What's up, man?
All right. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. I'm not a cop.
Okay.
I'm just going to be
That badge from?
And they bought it offline.
Okay. Do me a favor, stay in here, okay, for a second.
When supervisors arrived, the situation became clear, and he was taken into custody for impersonating an officer. Further investigation revealed even more concerning details. The man, whose name was Brendan Wazinski, was only 18 years old, much younger than he had initially claimed. During questioning, he repeatedly changed his story.
And then, when I made contact with you, I noticed you had a badge. Where'd you get that badge from?
It belonged to my dad.
It belongs to your dad? When was
Well, it did.
It did? Is he still around, or did he pass away?
Well, he was killed.
Oh, he was killed, okay.
At one point, inventing a false background involving a family connection to law enforcement. What made the situation more serious was what officers later discovered inside his vehicle. A loaded weapon had been kept in the glove compartment, something that hadn't been visible at first. Combined with his actions, this raised serious concerns about what could have happened if he had continued pulling people over. The idea of someone with no authority, armed and pretending to be law enforcement, created a dangerous scenario. Even without immediate harm, the potential risk was clear. In March 2020, he was sentenced to probation. However, within weeks, he failed to follow the conditions set by the court, leading to stricter legal consequences. The case leaves behind an uneasy thought. How long had he been doing this without getting caught? And what might have happened if no one had stopped him that day?